Part 2 is going back to Basho. Reading Essential Haiku from the Saga Diary. Now, Sodo is always moved by these words. I too feel it, he says. We're talking about loneliness, and he says, not this melancholy cuckoo, but your solitary song. Not this melancholy cuckoo, but your solitary song. I composed this poem. I too feel it. I composed this poem at a temple when I was all alone. In the evening, Kore sends me some news. Otoguni is said to have returned from Edo with many letters from old friends and disciples. Among them, the Kyokushi letter says that he visited the site of the Basho hut that I abandoned. He has seen Soha there. Soha's poem goes, in the old days, who was it cleaned his pots here? Violet blossoms, question mark. I guess Soha is writing a poem about Basho's hut. In the old days, who was it cleaned his pots here? Violet blossoms, question. He also writes, where you lived, there's nothing green except a single maple tree about 2 bows high. Poem, young maple tree, your rich brown leaves, they last a season. In Ranjutsu's letter, gathering bracket from among the shreds of ferns. The day for changing servants to a child's heart, a sad thing. They change servants, so they are upper class with the servants. Because the child gets upset when they change servants, right? The day for changing servants to a child's heart, a sad thing. The other letters were full of touching thoughts, sentiments for which I feel a deep attachment. The 23rd. Clapping my hands with the echoes, the summer moon begins to dawn. Bamboo shoots, they remind me of childhood, practicing brush painting. Ripening barley, does it get that color from the skylark's tears? Day by day the barley ripens, the skylarks sing. Having no talent, I just want to sleep, you noisy birds. The birds are too noisy. Bancho gave this the title, Fallen Persimmon's House. Poem, tourists are also directed to the bean field and the firewood hut. Towards evening, Kore arrives from Kyoto. News from Zizi Shobo, also from Shohaku and Otsu. Bancho comes. The abbot of Hampuku Temple in Katata visits us and stays overnight. Bancho returns to Kyoto. Bancho's been going back and forth. He's commuting to Kyoto. The 25th, Sina returns from Otsu. Fumi Kuni and Joso kindly visit. Joso wrote kanji in the Chinese style. Deep within Saga Valley, facing the mountain, companion to birds and fish, this sweet wilderness could be some old hermit's dwelling. No red dragon's eggs on the tips of the persimmon, but the leaves provide poetic themes and are conducive to learning. And one called Seeking Lady Gogo's grave. She fled the imperial palace, distressed by the strong reproaches heaped upon her. The autumn moon shines on her hut, and the wind kicks up dust in the village. In a long-gone day, the minister found where she was staying only by the sound of her lute. Where is her solitary grave now, among the trees and bamboo stalks? Fumiki Kuni writes, from sprouts they flourish into twin leaves of persimmon seeds. Joso composed on the way. Is that a cuckoo? The needles are as green as plums of cherries. Made me think of a praiseworthy piece by Hung Ting Chen. Chen Wuchi, who sought to compose while closing his door to his friends, and Chen Xiao, who exercised his brush in the presence of guests. What if when you have these guests, you just continue to do your painting?
I did that. I painted in front of my friends all the time.
Your friends come and say, "Oh, I'm busy doing that."
Yeah. And you was one day when I was painting. So I'm making the sacerdote cross.
So you're saying your solitude is a big important thing to you?
It was.
It was.
It was. And I thought I had the best of friends with me when I was alone. Beautiful books. Music. So
he has all friends coming and going. Basho is not a recluse in the woods.
You're never alone, exactly.
Basho's got all kinds of poetry friends.
Very social.
Oto Kuni comes and talks of Ido, also of a volume of Renga called Five Blue Candlestick Among Them. Poem. The lay priest placed a bag in his bosom. Kikaku writes, the mountain pass at Usioi rises to use horses. Knapsack at my hip and a little mad in the moonlight. Kikaku writes, autumn storm, I handed over my cottage to the exiled man. Utsu Mountain Inn borrowed a woman's nightgown, and I slept. Kikaku writes, accused her of faithlessness and forgave her on abstinence day. From around the hour of the monkey, we have rain and snow and fierce thunder. It also hails. The size of the hailstones is about 3 momi. When the dragon passes in the sky, there is hail. The large hailstones resemble a Chinese peach. The small ones are like Shiba chestnuts. The 26th. Fumi Kuni poem. From sprouts they flourish into twin leaves of persimmon seeds. Basho poem. Rape blossoms scattering like dust across the fields. Kore poem. A snail waving its horns uncertainly. Joso poem. While someone else draws the well water, I wait for the bucket. Otokuni's poem. Morning moon, it must be the 3 times a month, mailman passing through. 27th. No visitors. All day I am at leisure. This Basho's got the life. He's at leisure. Well, it was harder when he was traveling. 28th. I start to say something about Tokoku in my dream, and my profuse weeping wakes me. When the spirit and the gods intermingle, one dreams a dream, when the yin spirit dies out, one sees fire in his dream. If the yin spirit is weakened, one dreams of the water. When a flying bird has hair in its beak, one dreams of flying. When one sleeps on his sash, the dreams are of snakes. Dreams and Shi-Chen-Chi, Yamakio, Kyoko all have their logic and are not mysterious. My dreams are not the dreams of saints or princes. All day long I am filled with delusions and my attention wanders. At night my dreams are the same way. Dreaming about Tukoku is a so-called remembering dream. He was devoted to me and came all the way to my birthplace, Iga, showing his deep regard. We shared the same bed at night. We comforted each other after the fatigue of travel. He accompanied me on my journey like a faithful shadow for about 100 days. Sometimes we shared our pleasure, sometimes our sorrows, feeling his sincerity for meeting the depth of my heart. I have never for a moment forgotten him. Because of all this, I must have dreamed of him. After waking up, I wept again. 29th. I look at the poems on Takadachi of Oku province in one poem each. 30th. Takadachi soars into the sky, resembling a star on the helmet. The Koromo River runs into the sea, and the moon is a bow. The landscape described thus is rather different from mine. Unless one goes to the places, even the ancients could not make poems befitting them. 5th day, 4th, 5th month. Abbot Ryu of Misho Temple in Harata, Omi Province, visits me. Letters from Shohaku and China also arrive. Here's a Riya poem. He's the abbot. Unused bamboo shoots on them. Some do remains. So Haku poem. These days, summer underwear brings comfort. The 4th moon. So Haku poem. Long awaited, the 5th moon nears. Bridegroom's cake. 2nd. Sora comes and says he went to see the flowers at Yoshino and made a pilgrimage to the Kimano shrines. He also tells me this and that about my old friends and disciples in Edo. Sora says, Sora poem. The road to Kimano, as we go far upon it, suddenly the summer sea. Sora poem. Omini mountain, deep in Yoshino, the last cherry blossoms. Just about the time the sun begins to sink, we go boating on the river. We go up to Tanashi along Mount Arashi. It begins to rain and we return home at dusk. The 3rd, the rain of last night continues unceasingly all day and all the next night. While we talked about our old friends, dawn arrived. The 4th, not sleeping last night evening, I slept all day, overcome with fatigue. The rain stops at noon. Tomorrow, it's my plan to leave fallen persimmon's house, but feeling attachment for it, I take a good look at each room in the front and in the back all over. Poem. 5th month rain, 5th month rain. Poems passed to the wall, peeled off, leave traces. 5th month rain. Poems pasted to the wall, peeled off, leave traces. End of Saga Diaries. We just read from Essential Haiku with Basho's stay in Persimmon House and from the Saga Diary and translated Etsuki Terasaki. This is a back to Basho. What do you think of it there? Part 2. It's be good to be back traveling with Basho, though he wasn't traveling. And it's quiet today.